Turn it up.
Coming to you live from behind the pine curtain, this is 903 Sports. I am your host, Cameron Brown. I'm joined today by Trent Sansom and Mason Cudd. We'll have Hunter Shattuck on the show a little bit later. So it's Super Bowl week, boys. I'm super excited. Eagles versus Patriots this week. You know, I think Super Bowl Sunday needs to be a national holiday. What do y'all think?
I agree. I love football. I don't think anybody loves football more than me. I would love for it to be a national holiday. I think people should not have to go to school the next day. It'd be the greatest thing ever.
That's what I'm saying. I think it should be. I think when I open my calendar, the Super Bowl should be marked on my calendar, just like Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's a holiday to me. The Super Bowl is a huge day in America. But anyway, so Eagles Patriots Sunday 5:30. Patriots are the favorite. So Mason, let me ask you this: what do the Eagles have to do Sunday to win that football game?
You know what I think the key thing is it's kind of cliche, but Nick Foles. I mean, I have total faith in Philadelphia's defense. I've been watching them all year, but I think the key is Nick Foles. And last week he sure he had 352 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, and no interceptions. So, I mean, and then against the Minnesota defense, that's really great. I mean, that was, a Philly fan, you like, encouragement, from that game coming into the Super Bowl. But I think that he could be really big against New England's secondary. That's what I think. What do you think?
Man, I think for the Eagles to win this football game, I think they're going to have to really have a good rushing attack to help out Nick Foles. I think Jay Ajayi needs to have a big game. I think LeGarrette Blount needs to be big in the red zone, and they cannot turn the football over because I think Tom Brady's going to put up some points. Even though I think Philly's got a really good defense, I think they have one of the best defenses in the league, to be honest with you. But I just think Nick Foles needs to have an Alex Smith type game. Just be a game manager. Don't turn the ball over. Make some plays every now and then, and they need to have a good running game. I think that's what it's going to take to win. Just no turnovers, and they'll have a chance. What about you, Trent? What do you think Philadelphia needs to do to beat New England?
Kind of like what you just said. Nick Foles can't turn the ball over, especially Super Bowl. Tom Brady being the quarterback on the other side, you can't give him any more opportunities than he already has. You need to shorten the game for him, run the ball a lot, throw short passes, kind of like what the Jaguars did to New England 2 weeks ago. Shorten the game, keep them off the field, as much as you can. Keep your defense on the sideline, and I think that'll give them the best opportunity to win. But I just don't see it happening, man. Tom Brady, don't ever bet against the Patriots unless they're playing against Tom Coughlin.
No, yeah, I agree, and I think Jacksonville did a really good job of that last week. Shortening that game up, keeping the ball, running the ball a lot. I mean, that's what I think Philadelphia needs to do. They need to really establish a strong run game, let that clock run, eat up some time, win the time of possession, win the turnover battle. I mean, it's going to be tough for Philly to win. I think this New England team is very good. Tom Brady.
Also,
go ahead, Mason.
Another thing that I think Philly, kind of like a sleeper thing that Philly really needs to be in their favor is the penalties.
Yes.
just like the Golden State Warriors, you got to box out and rebound. You can't let them have multiple chances to score the basketball. And they can't, and Philadelphia cannot have stupid penalties to keep the drive alive for Tom Brady because he will make you pay for it.
Right. Yeah, the less Tom Brady has the ball on Sunday, the better chance Philadelphia has to win that football game.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Well, if they can kind of it's different because it's college football. But Iowa State, when they beat Oklahoma in Oklahoma, I think Baker Mayfield had 6 possessions the whole game. Some crazy stat like that.
Wow.
So they just really shortened the game and kept him off the field. And I think he scored him. Or maybe he had the ball for 7 possessions, but he scored 5 out of 7 possessions. They still lost. So do all you can to keep the drive. Shoot up that play clock and keep the drive going. and keep Tom Brady on the sidelines.
Well, let me ask you this, Trent. We talked a little bit about this last week. If Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl for Philadelphia, what do they do at the quarterback? Do they let Nick Foles take over the job, or do they say, "See you later, Nick Foles," and let Wentz take over?
Wentz is so good. He would have been the MVP this year. You got it. I mean, that's kind of like saying when Jimmy G came in a couple years ago. He won every game he played in, and he played really well. It's like saying, let's just turn the keys over to Jimmy G. No. I mean, you still have Tom Brady as your starter, just like you still have Carson Wentz as your starter. I think Nick Foles is a good quarterback if he has a good offensive-minded coach, but by no means is he any better or anything close to Carson Wentz.
Nah, yeah, I agree with you. I said last week, if Philadelphia wins the Super Bowl, you tell Nick Foles, thank you very much, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, he can stay on his back, money. Go get paid somewhere else.
Yeah. So let's say Philadelphia does win Sunday. Does Nick Foles, I mean, he's obviously not going to stay. They're going to go back to Carson Wentz, but does he get paid and go somewhere like Denver? Or Mason, what do you think?
Yes, I 100% think Nick Foles is going to get paid. I think that he's going to get paid off to another team. Win or lose this Super Bowl, he has played very well and gotten this team to the Super Bowl despite losing their MVP candidate Wentz. So I think 100% Foles gets paid big time.
Yeah, I agree. I think Foles will find somewhere to play. I think there's some interesting quarterback kind of carousel going on this year. You got Kirk Cousins now because Alex Smith just signed a big deal with Washington. Kirk Cousins will be a free agent. Case Keenum's on the market. Nick Foles is on the market. There's going to be some good quarterbacks that some teams like the Jets or Denver could get. But let me stay on the Super Bowl real quick, Mason. Let me ask you. So give me your prediction for Sunday. Score and who wins.
I'm not a Patriots fan whatsoever, but I think I'm going to be rooting for them this year. I hate to say that, but I think I'm just going to pull for Tom Brady, and so he gets his sixth ring and just rides off in the sunset. But he's going to keep playing. I don't think he's going to retire, but still, he'll get his sixth ring, and he'll be the GOAT for sure. But I'd like New England winning the sixth one, but I don't think it'll be tough. I mean, I think it'll be. God, I just hate betting against Tom Brady, guys. It's just really tough. What do you think, Cameron?
Man, I think it's going to be a close game because I think Philly's got a pretty good defense. I'm going to say New England wins this game. Tom Brady game-winning drive. New England wins 24-20. Patriots score with 32 seconds left, and they win the game. Trent, what about you? Give me a prediction.
We actually have the exact same score for the game, which is.
Do we really? 24-20?
24-20, yeah.
That's a good number.
So
we're all taking New England?
Yeah. And I'm going for New England. I mean, I don't really care for New England, but I mean, being a Cowboy fan, there's no rhyme or reason for you to ever go for the Eagles.
No, I can't pull for New England. I can't do it. I'm rooting for my man Nick Foles to go get a ring. That'd be a pretty cool story.
It would be. But
Nick Foles in the Super Bowl.
It'd also be cool to see Tom Brady get his sixth Super Bowl. I don't really care for the Patriots.
Nah. He's won 5. He's got plenty. I'm done with him. I'm pulling for Philadelphia this Sunday.
Oh gosh.
But I'm looking forward to the game. I hope it's a good game. I hope it's not a blowout. Philadelphia's going to have to rely on the run game and their defense, and we're going to find out a lot about Nick Foles on Sunday. So I'm interested to see that. So Trent, you're a man of bold predictions. So give me a bold prediction for Sunday. Just some random stat.
Ooh, random stat?
Yeah, something. Here, I'll give you one. I'm gonna say Tom Brady throws for under 200 yards on Sunday. Bold prediction.
Ooh.
I mean, this is bold prediction here. I'm just saying.
That is bold. I mean, that's about as bold as you can get.
Yeah. So give me something.
I'm gonna say Tom Brady throws a Super Bowl pick.
Really? Loses the game on an interception?
He's gonna not lose the game, but he's gonna throw an interception in the Super Bowl.
Oh, he's gonna have a
That's
pick?
my bold.
Okay.
That's my bold take.
That's not a bold take.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't.
That's a Mason Cud take. That's one of those par takes.
No.
Goodness
you got
me.
Cameron going full on bold, and you got Cud going. That's probably going to happen. Cud, he probably will throw a pick.
Mason's not a very risky guy. That's what I've come to learn on this podcast.
No.
Man, I'll give you something bold. I don't think Tom Brady throws for less than 200, but I'll say that No, never mind. I'll go with Jay Ajayi having 150 yards.
150 yards. Wow. New England doesn't have a very good defense.
Yeah, so that'll be my bold prediction. I was going to say that I was going to say New England having more rushing yards than Tom Brady's passing yards, but nah, I'll go with Jay Ajayi having 150 rushing yards. My bold.
I like it. So let's move on to what happened on Sunday. The NFL Pro Bowl happened Sunday. I didn't watch it down in the game. I see the AFC won 24-23. I don't think either one of you guys watched the game, did you?
No.
See, I just don't understand why the Pro Bowl is so bad because I love NBA All-Star Weekend. I'll watch the MLB All-Star Weekend with the Home Run Derby. The Pro Bowl it's just so boring. And I don't know why it's like that. I mean, it's half the players don't want to be there. Half the players playing in the Pro Bowl aren't actual Pro Bowl All-Stars because they're filling in for somebody who's hurt, somebody who doesn't want to play, or somebody who's playing in the Super Bowl. So you don't even have the best players in the world playing in the Pro Bowl because the NBA All-Star game, you've got the best players in the league that are playing. They're all playing. And I know football is a contact sport, and I don't blame the players for not playing or not wanting to play but my thing is I think they should just get rid of the Pro Bowl. I think it's just a waste of time and a waste of money. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Should they get rid of it, or what do they need to do to make the Pro Bowl better? I'll let you start, Mason. Go ahead.
I really don't think there's a way to make it any better. I don't like it. I didn't watch it this year, and there's nothing to gain from it. I didn't even watch it, and I'm sitting here looking at these stats. I mean, Kareem Hunt, he's had a hell of a year, big time name, and Pro Bowl player, I guess. He makes Pro Bowl. He has four. It says he has 4 carries for 4 yards. I just don't because there's a stacked team, so they kind of have to play everybody. So,
right.
The AFC has 4 quarterbacks. 3. And so does the NFC. But still, I just don't get it, and I think it's kind of a waste.
I think they should just get rid of the game and still have a Pro Bowl selection so we can have a roster because it's an honor to make the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
But just get rid of the game. I mean, I don't – or maybe have a 7-on-7 flag football or just something different because, the Pro Bowl is just not working. So, Trent, what do you think about the Pro Bowl? Should they keep it or –
Nah, I think just like you guys. I didn't even know what the score was. I couldn't tell you probably more than honestly. Given I have been super busy this past couple weeks, but I couldn't even tell you. I don't think 10 players that were on the Pro Bowl team. And I know that, like you said, it's a big honor to be invited to the Pro Bowl and to make the Pro Bowl. And so, that's just me kind of being a bad football fan or not keeping up with it. But I didn't even care to watch the game. I think I saw one play because I was with my girlfriend and her family, and I know the mom had it pulled up, and she was trying to wonder why they weren't tackling it. It was kind of funny, but I didn't pay attention to the Pro Bowl weekend at all.
Yeah, it's just this is not a very good event. We talk about how bad the NBA All-Star game is defensively, and you got the Pro Bowl. It would be a shame to have somebody get injured in this meaningless Pro Bowl game. That's why Kareem Hunt only had 4 carries. They're just trying not to get these guys hurt. I remember, I think 3 years ago, the Bengals tight end, Tyler Eifert, was having a breakout season. He got hurt in the Pro Bowl, broke his back, and he hadn't been the same since. I haven't even heard of him since. And he was one of the best tight ends in the league. And then he just got hurt in the Pro Bowl and just kind of fallen off. So, I don't know. I just think it's just getting old, and I just think it's time to get rid of it. But let's go ahead and move on. Cud, you got a lost soul of the week for us? Cud's lost soul?
My lost soul of the week is the Clippers organization. I mean, that trade. I mean, they traded away their franchise player for nobody, and I don't know. I just was kind of blown away by it. I even saw Blake Griffin found out about it on Twitter. I mean, I think it's a long time coming. There's been a bunch of mess and drama in LA, with Chris Paul and Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. So, it's all kind of starting to unfold now. So, yeah, Clippers take the number one place this week.
How bad is that? Your best player in franchise history finds out he's been traded on Twitter. Or, I mean, how sad is that? I mean, the organization should be embarrassed for that. But, I mean, this is perfect because this segues right into what I want to talk about now. I want to talk about the Blake Griffin trade. So let me give you some details on the trade. The Detroit Pistons traded Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Boban Marjanovic, and a first and second round pick to the Clippers for Blake Griffin, Bryce Johnson, and Willie Reed. So when I first saw this trade, I thought this was the worst trade ever. I thought the Clippers are crazy to trade their best player. But I still don't think this is a very good trade for the Clippers because I think they're panicking because they're like ninth in the West, and their starting point guard Pat Beverly's hurt. Griffin and Jordan missed a lot of time this year. So I just think they made this move too early, and they got Avery Bradley, who's having a really bad year. And they did get Tobias Harris, who's having a very nice year. I think Tobias Harris is a good basketball player, so he could be good in L.A. And you get 2 draft picks out of it. So I just think it's a poor trade. I don't think it's the worst trade I've ever seen. I mean, it's not as bad as the Boogie Cousins trade by any means, and Detroit getting Blake Griffin, that's big for them. Now, they do get 2 projects in Willie Reed, Bryce Johnson, but, I mean, those guys may not even make the roster. But, I mean, Blake Griffin and Andre Jordan, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, Mason, let me ask you this. Pistons, are they going to make the playoffs in the East this year?
I would have to let me look at the standings real quick. Detroit is at the number 9 seed right now.
Right.
They're a game and a half back from the 8th to the Sixers right now. But I like them making the playoffs. They don't have you look at the Pistons roster, you're just like, Jesus. I mean, just horrible. Decimated at guard, and but they somehow come together and sneak out some wins every now and then. Like last night, they beat Cleveland by 11. They put up 125, and I think with Blake Griffin alongside Andre Drummond could get pretty serious. And I think that if Blake Griffin, likes it playing with him, maybe he stays there and talks Drummond in, to stay, and maybe Detroit could get a point guard or something, and never know. I don't know. Something could be happening in the future for the Detroit Pistons.
Man, I'm a big Andre Drummond fan. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I was very excited to see that he got in the All-Star game because of, I think John Wall got hurt and he got in for him. I think Andre Drummond's a very, very good center. And then having Griffin alongside, they're going to kind of be like the Pelicans are. They're going to have 2 fantastic big men, and they're just going to have to just have a better post game than everybody else because they don't have very good guards to kind of support them now. But, I mean, they're going to be fun to watch. I like watching a big basketball team like them and the Pelicans. So, what about you, Trent? What do you think about Griffin and Andre Drummond playing together?
Oh, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be fun to watch. Just like you said, you got Anthony Davis and Boogie down there in New Orleans, and I mean, I like watching that kind of style of basketball. But I mean, so I'm going to disagree with you about the trade. I know,
I haven't heard your take on this trade.
I think, man, Jerry West is the GM out there. I think he knows what he's doing. I mean, he been the Lakers GM when they were, winning all those rings, their last 6 rings, and then he was the Memphis GM for a while, and he got that organization up and running. Then he was the Warriors GM, and you see what happened with them. And now he's their GM. And I think he knows what he's doing, man. Blake Griffin, you can't rely on the guy. First of all, I think he's a good player. I know he's probably that franchise's best player. I guess you could say that.
He's probably the best player that they've ever had.
If you're gonna win, an NBA championship, you're not going to win it with Blake Griffin being your best player. You need somebody else better on your team. He's a good two. He's a great two, but he's not a good. He should never be your best player. And so I think the Clippers are doing. They're seeing that they can't rely on him because he's injury prone, and they're seeing that can't win when Blake Griffin is your best player. Like you're just not going to compete in the playoffs. You might make the playoffs, but you're not going to really compete.
But my thing is
for blowing it up. They're going to get a ton of draft picks. I know Avery Bradley's not having that great of a year, but I think under Jerry West and under Doc Rivers, he could come back to being how he was at Boston. Like you said, Tobias Harris had a good season. And like I said, they're going to get a ton of draft picks. So,
I mean, the more time that's passed from the trade, I've kind of said, okay, this trade's not that bad. But my thing is for the Clippers is you're getting a good player in Tobias Harris, but he's not an all-star. He's just a good, solid role player. Yeah. And you're getting Avery Bradley, he's been terrible this year for Detroit. Mm-hmm. He's a good defender, but he's not a very good scorer. His jump shot's nowhere near as good as it used to be. And you're getting Boban, who's 8'12", but I mean he that's all he is. He's just a big tree out there. He has no basketball skills.
But see, they're in a rebuild though. Like that's what I mean. I think it's time to blow it up. Yeah, blow it up and start over.
Yeah, I mean I agree with that. I mean go ahead.
I think they're going to trade Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan too eventually. Maybe not Lou Williams. I think they will trade DeAndre Jordan because look, if you think about it, if the Clippers would have kept CP3 and they would have kept Blake Griffin, they both would have bolted. I think in the offseason. So they did good to get rid of those two guys and get something back from them. They did good to trade for those guys. Trade and get something back from them rather than them bolting in the offseason and getting nothing.
Well, the thing is Blake Griffin just signed a 5-year deal last summer with the Clippers. So
I didn't know that. I thought his contract was coming up.
Yeah, he just signed a big deal with them last summer. But no, I agree, Trent. I think the Clippers are going to trade Lou Williams and DeAndre Jordan here in the next couple of days. But I can see that happening. You know where I think they're going to trade those two players to?
Cavs?
Yep. They're going to trade them to Cleveland. I don't know what they're going to get out of it, but
I'll say who they going to. I mean, because if you're going to blow it up, so I agree with you, Brown. If they don't trade DeAndre and Lou, and I think Lou's having a heck of a season, but if they don't trade those two guys, then I think the trade is kind of bad. Because if you're going to blow it up, you need to blow it all the way up,
right?
And start a fresh rebuild with new young players. So I get what you're saying. I think they probably will trade them to the Cavs, but who are you going to get from the Cavs unless it's that Brooklyn first-round pick that they have, and another pick and maybe a younger player on the team that I'm just not thinking about right now because, maybe they could get Isaiah Thomas. I don't know.
Here's what they can do with that trade. I think Clippers trade DeAndre Jordan and Lou Williams to the Cavs for that Nets pick, which will be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas and maybe like a Tristan Thompson or somebody like that. Just a role player.
Yeah, that could be a good trade for both teams.
I think that benefits the Cavs because they're going to obviously get the players out of it, and the Clippers will have a draft pick.
But long term.
Yeah, but it's hard to put your future into a draft pick. You don't even know who it's going to be.
That's true.
I will always take the player over the draft pick.
Yeah.
Because more than likely that draft pick's not going to be what you think it's going to be.
Yeah. That's true.
So,
I mean, if anybody's going to be, like I said, I think Jerry West is great at finding talent and drafting talent. So
I agree with you there. He's done a heck of a job. So that's kind of made me rethink this whole thing too, because everywhere he's gone, he's done a heck of a job as a general manager.
Right.
But so speaking of the Cavs, let's talk about the Cavs. Man, they are struggling. We talked about them last week. Kevin Love last night broke his hand. He's out for a month and a half to 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks. And they lost to Detroit last night. 125-113, and Detroit didn't have Griffin playing. So listen to this. So the Detroit Pistons, Ish Smith, Stanley Johnson, Anthony Tolliver, and Reggie Bullock combined for 87 points last night against Cleveland. That is atrocious. For four guys who wouldn't be in a lot of rosters in the NBA putting up that much. The Cavs play no defense. Now that Kevin Love's hurt, that's a disaster for them. J.R. Smith, Shumpert, all those guys, they're old. They're not scoring the ball. I think Shumpert's hurt, but J.R. Smith's not been very good. Kyle Korver just doesn't look the same. Isaiah Thomas has been awful so far for Cleveland. So is Jay Crowder. So, I mean, LeBron's just kind of doing it all by himself. And, I mean, I don't know. So, Trent, you didn't get to talk about this last week. So, are the Cavs done this year? I mean, what's up with the Cavs? Are they going to turn around, or what do you think?
Well, you never know. I mean, they have the best player in their generation as far as basketball players go. They have the best player in the world on their team. So you can't just say, oh, they're cooked, because I mean, they still got LeBron James, and they can still. I mean, what? How many more months to the playoffs? 4?
Yeah, I think maybe 3 or something like that.
So I mean, you have 3 months, and I know they haven't had any chemistry basically all year, but you have 3 months to kind of figure it out. And like I said, you have the best player on the team. I don't know what's up with Isaiah Thomas. I think he kind of had before he went to Boston. Colin Cowherd of Fox Sports 1 made a good point. Before he went to Boston, which we all know Boston's like one of the best run organizations in the league, and they have the best. To me, in my opinion, they have the best coach. Brad Stevens is a genius.
He's a heck of a coach.
Heck of a coach. Before he went to Boston, he was averaging 15 at Sacramento and 15 at Phoenix. Just a good B player. Then he went to a good, stable franchise, and he exploded, and he doubled it. And he went for 29 last year. And now he's back at Cleveland, which Cleveland's wildly dysfunctional. And now he's back at about a 15-point per game player. And so I think the same could be said with Jay Crowder. I mean, he flourished in Boston because it's Boston. Like you see it all the time with the guys that are with the Spurs. They do really well with the Spurs, but then when they leave the Spurs, which is a great organization, just like Boston, whatever team they go to, they don't amount to what they were with the Spurs. So, I mean, that could explain why Jay Crowder and Isaiah, aren't having good seasons right now. But I don't know, man. I think they'll probably make the Eastern Conference Finals still, but I think Boston's going to take it.
That's a really good point, Trent. I totally agree with that. I think Isaiah and Crowder are now playing for Tyronn Lue, he's really a cheerleader. I mean, that guy's not elevating anybody, and I think Brad Stevens will elevate your players. Like Greg Pop's going to elevate those guys.
Yeah, look at Avery Bradley. I mean,
yeah,
you have 3 players that are not on the team, and on that team, and those 3 players that went elsewhere are nowhere near the same.
Right, they're all struggling. So we got Hunter on with us now. So Hunter, I'll let you go ahead. So we talked about the Cavs last week. So what do you think? I mean, are they worse off now? So give me some thoughts on the Cavs.
Yeah. So I don't know. The only question that I have about the Cavs is, at what point do we stop kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt? They have LeBron. They do this every year. They kind of go in this little funk that they have. But at what point is it too much? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's every day. I feel like I look at the scores and they lose, or I watch a game and they just put in no effort. It just doesn't even look. They don't look like a team that I could see competing to win an NBA championship. And what's that?
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
I'm just starting to not think that they can do it. I'm losing faith in, not necessarily in LeBron James, but just in the team as a whole. Like, I think there's too much for LeBron to do to carry the team to the NBA Finals.
No, I agree. I think this Cavs team, the roster is old. It's banged up. I think this is the worst LeBron team we've seen in the last 10 years. I can't remember the last time I've seen the Cavs battling out in the 4 seed right now with Miami. So, I mean, I don't know. I think they've got problems. And giving up 125 points to the Pistons, that's just lack of effort to me. I think, personally, I think the Cavs might need a coaching change if it doesn't work out this year.
I agree. I agree 100%.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's why I think LeBron's going to leave. I think LeBron wants to play for a coach. But so I'll let you go ahead, Mason. What do you think about the Cavs? Are they done? Are they going to make the finals again this year?
Well, okay. First, I would like to talk about y'all hating on my man Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley is averaging 18 points a game. He's not having as good a seasons as he had with Boston. But I mean, there's no guards in Detroit. I mean, there's not really much going on there. So I can see how he's not really flourishing there. And now that he got traded, he could be good in LA, especially if, somehow they keep Lou Williams and which I don't think is going to happen, but hypothetically, they get some good shooter guards around Avery Bradley, and I think he could be back to Avery Bradley, in a Boston Celtics uniform type level. But I do think the Cavs they're done. I mean, they clearly can't figure out what's going on, but I would like to add, if they somehow get DeAndre Jordan or Lou Williams, then that's a different story. But as of right now, I just don't see it connecting. And the Cavs as an organization is in big trouble next year, because I think LeBron's heading out. The Cavs are going to have nobody next season. They're done, in my opinion. But
I think that
the Cavs are in deep hole, I think.
the only chance Cleveland has this year is if they get a trade, which I really think they're going to get DeAndre Jordan. It's been talked about for the last 2 months, so I could really see that.
Cam, let me ask you this. So we talked about how the Cavs just keep getting older, and I feel like they brought in a lot of new pieces this past offseason, but they were still older guys. No real young talent.
Very old guys.
I feel like LeBron wants to play with a young group of guys. You know what I'd really like to see is him go play in Philly, play for the 76ers. That would be so much fun to watch, and I feel like he would like that. Play with a young, energetic group of guys, and they would definitely be a contender with LeBron on that team. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I haven't even thought about LeBron playing in Philly. I could possibly see that, but I think if LeBron's going to play with a young group, I think he's going to LA. I think he's going to play for the Lakers. I really do.
I don't know, man, because I feel like the young guys in Philly are so much better than the guys in LA. And if he doesn't have that many years left. And if he wants to win a championship, if I were LeBron, I would want to play in Philly. And you don't have to go to the West if you go to Philadelphia. Because if you go to the West, then you run the risk of not getting to the NBA championship.
Right. But my thing is, I think your automatic lock of free agency this year, and you can write this down and quote me on this, Paul George will be a Laker next year. That's a fact. So I think
why do you say that? I'm curious. Why do you say that?
That's where he's from, and it's been rumored for years that he's going to go to the Lakers once he leaves the Pacers. And the Pacers traded him on his last year of his contract to OKC. So he's a free agent this summer. And the Thunder are actually starting to play better. But I just don't think he's going to go back. I really see him going to L.A. and finishing his career in his hometown.
What if happens, though? I'm not saying it will, but what if OKC gets to the Western Conference Finals? And like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they do get to the Western Conference Finals and they're playing Golden State or Houston, and they put up, they go 6 games and they lose, do you think he leaves still?
Man, I really do. I really just think he's going to L.A. no matter what happens this year.
I don't know, man. I think he likes it in OKC. I really do.
L.A. has a ton of money, and they're going to offer the bank for Paul George. And I don't think OKC.
He's going to get a max deal wherever he goes.
Yeah, but I don't understand these new contract deals. Steph Curry getting paid a super max. I don't know what that means.
Well, but he gets paid. He gets paid the super max because he got drafted by the Warriors. Paul George didn't get drafted. He didn't get drafted by the Thunder, so he can't get the super max. He'll just get the normal max, which makes no sense.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You can only get the super max if you're playing for the team that drafted you.
Okay. I don't know. That's my prediction of the offseason is Paul George to the Lakers, no matter what happens, unless they might win the finals. But I don't see that happening.
No, I don't see that.
And OKC.
Hey, have you thought about Paul George or LeBron possibly going to the Clippers in the offseason?
See, I think if they're going to go to LA, they're going to go to the Lakers because the Lakers have all the.
I think LA, you should go to the Lakers, but
there's no reason to go to the Clippers now. They won't have any players.
Yeah, but you kind of start so. That's true. That's a good point.
LeBron would get to go play with Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, Alonzo, all those young guys.
Yeah.
Which I agree with Hunter. I think if LeBron wants to play with some good young players, go to Philly. That's where the good young players are.
I agree, and that's a good point.
Let me ask you this.
LA has a lot of projects.
Let me
I
ask
don't
you
know
this.
how good those guys are going to be. Go ahead.
I want to get Cud's opinion on this too. If you're LeBron James, where do you go? If
He's going to say the Spurs. He's going to say the Spurs.
Okay, Cud, take the Spurs out of it. That's biased.
Well, I mean, I honestly think that he should go to the Spurs, and the reasons
Told you.
is that he hasn't had a coach, and him.
I'll give you that.
It's an actual reasonable thing. Like,
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I'm honestly saying the Spurs is that, yes, that would be awesome personally for me, but
Yeah.
I actually think that he would at this point in his career, he's made the money. It's not about the money. I think that he would enjoy playing for a well-organized team, from coach to player, from top down through the whole season, and then see how that goes. He's never had that, and I just think that's where he should go, and I think that he wouldn't fit in Philly personally. I don't think that he could play with Embiid. I just don't see them going side by side personally.
Like, basketball-wise or personality-wise?
Yeah, I just don't see them meshing that well. Embiid's very in the spotlight type player in my opinion, and then LeBron is LeBron, so he's obviously going to draw his attention. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be very cool, because I like Philly, and that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'd love to watch that.
That would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I think that he would be very foolish to go to the Lakers or somebody like that to waste these years that he personally has been saying this whole season. This is the greatest shape he's felt. Wasting years down there in L.A., which personally I don't think he would get anywhere if he went to the Lakers.
I don't think you get a champion. And now, if you get Paul George, then I could see them competing for a championship. But is that enough to get past Golden State?
No,
I don't think so.
In my opinion.
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Golden State's going to break up soon.
Yeah,
maybe.
But will they break up before LeBron's out of his prime?
I think LeBron is like Tom Brady. He can play until he's 40 and still be in his prime.
That's what is going to come down. That's what this is all going to come down to. What ends first, LeBron's prime or the Golden State Warriors?
The Warriors will have to split eventually because Clay or Draymond or somebody they're going to want to split up.
Well, Clay's contract runs up before anybody, and that's after next season, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's coming soon, but it's going to be in the next 4 or 5, 3 years maybe.
Yeah.
So, are y'all putting Golden State as a lock into the finals?
Oh, absolutely. No chance that anybody beats them. Zero chance.
I don't know about zero chance.
Zero, Brown. You telling me zero?
Negative 5% chance, not zero.
Well, I'm just saying. I know it's the regular season; it's completely different. But the Rockets already lead head to head. So.
It's regular season play. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Warriors they will not lose to Houston. Your NBA Finals is going to be the Warriors versus the Celtics.
It's going to be the Celtics versus the Rockets.
No, it's not. Before we go to our Power 5, I want to ask you guys a question. So, Mason, I'll let you start. Who is the best young player in the NBA right now? And let's go younger. Let's go younger than Joel Embiid. So this is his 4th year in the league. So younger than him. So
how old Joel? What, 24?
No, this is his 4th year. So anybody that's in their 1st, 2nd, or 3rd year in the league, like Jaylen Brown or somebody like that.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Kind of put me on the spot.
What year is Giannis in?
Giannis is in his 5th or 6th year. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start since I put you on the spot there, but I think Ben Simmons is the best young player.
Yeah,
in the NBA
that's what I was thinking after I found out Giannis is older than that.
That kid's jump shot is not great, but man, he can pass the ball and he gets his teammates involved. He's a good basketball player, and I think he should have been an All-Star this year. And he still has a chance now that K Love is hurt. He could be the alternate to get in. But
I thought Drummond got in.
Drummond got in for John Wall.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
K Love broke his hand last night, so somebody's got to get in for him, and it could be Ben Simmons.
just to be different, I'll give Cut a little bit more time to think. I think Ben Simmons is having a heck of a year. And I think he's gonna be a great player. I'll go with Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Because he's playing less minutes per game and he's outscoring Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is averaging like 16, 7, and 7, and Donovan Mitchell's averaging 19, 3.5, and 3.5. So
yeah,
Ben
Donovan
Simmons
Mitchell's good. Donovan Mitchell's going to be a good player in Utah. He kind of reminds me of a better Darren Williams, like a better scorer than Darren Williams was.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
He just brings it.
Yeah, he's going to be good. That was a steal. They got him at like number 12 or so in the draft.
Yep.
So, Mason, you got one there, Mason?
Yes, y'all are missing the man, Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, that's true.
I think this is his third year. So, yeah, he counts.
This is just now his third year.
I feel like he's been in the league forever.
I like Ben Simmons over Kristaps.
Yeah,
so let me ask you this, Cam, if somebody offered you Ben Simmons or Porzingis to come play for the Celtics, you'd take Simmons over Porzingis.
Absolutely.
Oh,
that's
my God.
Bold.
Porzingis is way too inconsistent, guys. Way too inconsistent.
I'll give you that.
That's a good point, though, because and until you said that, I was going to take Donovan Mitchell. But now that if I had a chance to get Donovan Mitchell or Kristaps to the Spurs, I'd take Kristaps.
You got to, man.
He's so good.
I don't know. I mean, he's
inconsistent, but he's wildly inconsistent to me. But we got to move on. So let's do our Power Five. So this is going to be interesting because I've already know what Mason and Trent are doing. So Hunter, I'll let you start. So give me your Power Five best athletes of our generation.
Okay. So these are just athletes that we've gotten to see, like, that we remember. So, like, I don't count MJ, even though he was, like, playing for the Wizards when I was, like, 7.
Right.
Like, I don't count that.
Yeah, they don't count.
So the order's kind of shady, but this is what I've got tentatively. So number 5, I got Roger Federer. I think I think he's the best male tennis player of all time, so he's got to be up there. We've watched it. Number 4, I've got LeBron James. Number 3, I've got the man Tom Brady. He's the best football player of all time. Number 2, Serena Williams.
Oh, that's a great find.
And then, honestly, I think Serena's the most dominant athlete, like, maybe ever. I mean, it's just not fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree.
She's just incredible. And then number 1 is obviously Tiger.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew that was coming. But, yeah, I mean, Tiger Woods, his win percentage, like an 11-year stretch, was like 27% or something, which is just absolutely unheard of.
Good gosh. Well, Hunter, dang it, you stole my thunder. I have Serena Williams at 5. I thought I was going to be the only one to have Serena on my list.
Are you an idiot?
Hunter, right before you said her name, I was thinking about like her being a possibility as a sub into one of mine too.
Yeah, she's incredible. She's incredible. She's one of the best tennis players of all time, male or female.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to bump her up to 4. She's got 23 Grand Slams. That's one shot of the record. So I mean, she's incredible, and she's going to get plenty more because she's still in her prime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she really could get to 30. Man, that would be something.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so I'm going to bump her to 4. So 5, I'm going to go with Michael Phelps. I think he has 23.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of Phelps. That's good.
I think he has 23 gold medals, something like that. So he'll be 5. So Serena 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with Tiger Woods.
God, bum.
14 major championships, 79 wins on tour. So
and counting, baby.
Nah, I don't know about that. Maybe counting. Hopefully counting. And then number 2, I'm going to go with Tom Brady. 5-time Super Bowl champ. Believe it or not, Tom Brady's only been MVP twice in the NFL. That kind of surprised me when I was looking at some stats earlier. And then number 1, I don't know how this is not everyone's number 1, it's LeBron James. Guys, this is the best basketball player ever.
No, okay. Well, let's tap the brakes there, Speed Racer.
Okay, best athlete. He is the most athletic human being ever.
Okay.
And
okay.
He's gonna be the best basketball player ever.
Your definition was most dominant athlete.
No,
okay,
I said best.
So I just want to point out that you left off Roger Federer, who everybody agrees is the best male tennis player of all time, and we've watched it our whole lives. And he's not on your list. I'm just
Who
pointing
should
that
I
out.
take off my list? I only wanted one tennis player on my list.
I'm
not
just
putting
saying.
two.
I'm just saying.
So I'd take Serena over Federer if you're going to talk about best tennis player in their respective sport.
I put Serena over Federer too, but I didn't have Phelps in there.
Oh, you got to put Phelps. That's Mr. Olympian. So,
but Federer's the best.
I don't know, man. I'm not putting two tennis players on my list. I got to take one. So Mason, you go ahead and give me your 5. I really am curious about this.
Okay,
it's going to be Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili.
Hey, that's God's army. But hey, so number 5 at first, just for a different name, I had Usain Bolt at number 5.
Ooh,
good pick.
But and then I have Tom Brady at number 4, and then Hunter's man Tiger Woods at number 3.
That's right.
Number 2, Roger Federer.
Thank you,
God. Yes. Number 1, the man. It should be everybody's number 1. Michael Phelps, the American man, baby.
Thank you, good.
How is LeBron James not on your list?
I was gonna put him at 5, but for a different name, I had Usain Bolt.
Okay, so hold on. I just have a point to that, Cameron. He's not the best ever at this point.
He will be,
but he's not. And I just don't see how you can put him over. I guess I did put him over Federer, so I guess I'm hypocritical. But I don't know.
Well, I want to argue with you about that, but I want to say my 5 before.
Give me your 5 and we'll talk about it.
Okay, so my 5 would be, I had Roger Federer as my number 5, but like Cameron said, thinking about it, I think I'll go Serena Williams at number 5.
It's Serena.
Serena Williams at number 5.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm
just messing with you, Trent.
I know she's the best woman tennis player, but I don't ever pay attention. I couldn't tell you how many Grand Slams she's won or whatever, but I know she has, like Cameron says, I know she has 24. So if you put them up, I'm not saying she could beat Roger Federer, but I think in her respective sport, she's more dominant than Roger Federer is. But anyways, so I got her at 5. I'll do Tom Brady at 4. I'll do Tiger at 3. Usain Bolt at 2, and Michael Phelps at 1. I don't see how Hunter and Cameron, y'all don't have Michael Phelps at number 1. He's literally the most decorated Olympian ever. The Olympian, most decorated, has the most gold medals of all time.
I'm not putting a swimmer as my number 1 athlete of all time.
So
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, so my only point to that, Trent, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Michael Phelps, but he's the most decorated because as a swimmer, you can compete in the most events. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But
he's done it since 2000.
No, it's incredible. I mean, the man is unbelievable. But just because he simply has the most medals, I don't think that makes him the best athlete of our generation. Just because of the sheer volume of events.
Most dominant. I couldn't figure out if we were doing the best or the most dominant. So I did the most dominant.
I'm going to take the fall on this one because I think I wasn't clear enough on this about you could do best, most dominant, best athlete.
They kind of go hand in hand a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean it's I can see the confusion there. So I still think LeBron's the best.
I still think. What's up?
Trent, don't listen to him. We got Michael Phelps number 1, right, baby?
He's American.
I don't know about all that.
Man. He is that dude. He is a bad son of a gun.
We all know that Tiger is the best athlete of our generation.
No, Tiger hasn't won a major in the last 10 years. He's disqualified from being
and he still has 14. That's incredible.
Yeah. No, if he shouldn't have been messing around on all that. But that's a different subject. If Tiger wouldn't have had the big fallout that he had, maybe he could have been number 1.
Oh, he's been hurt too. It wasn't just all him screwing it up.
Well, I mean,
psychological problems.
Yeah, he's got some issues. Hopefully he'll win again. But let's move on. So Hunter, you're gonna like this. I got a new segment for this week. So I have my Cam's top 5 college basketball players to watch for.
Oh, okay.
And I'll give anybody $1 if you've heard of any of these guys. So I'm going to give you 5 mid-major guys to watch for while March Madness best start tuning up and Conference Championships best start tuning up and all that. So number 5, Kendrick Nunn plays for Oakland. He averages 26 points a game. Oakland's 14-9. He's the second highest scorer in college basketball.
What's Oakland's mascot?
The Grizzlies, I believe.
I think you're right. I'm 90% sure.
But he's a good basketball player to watch for if they're able to win their conference and get into March Madness. Number 4 is Mike Dahm, plays for South Dakota State. He averages 23 points, 9.6 boards per game. They're 19-6. They will probably be in March Madness, so watch out for my man Mike Dahm. Number 3, Hunter, I was telling you about St. Bonaventure. Jalen Adams is the guy to watch out for. 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. They're 15-6. They will more than likely be in the tournament. So watch out for Jalen Adams.
And they're your Cinderella pick this year too.
They are my Cinderella pick. They're a good basketball team. Number 2, this kid's good. Jock Landale, 20. He plays for St. Mary's, who was 21-2, by the way. Number 13 in the country. They're having a heck of a season so far. But Jock Landale has 22 points per game, 10 boards per game. He's probably one of these. The only guy on this list I have that's going to go to the NBA. He's going to be a good basketball player, so keep an eye on him. I think he's 7 foot. And my number 1 is my man Chris Clemens. He's 5'9". He plays for the Campbell Fighting Camels. He averages 24 points per game, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. 5'9" guy averaging 24 points a game. I mean, can you beat that, really? I mean, Campbell's like 11-11, so I mean, I don't think they're making any kind of March Madness run. But I'm looking out for my short guys putting up 24 points a game.
It's impressive.
So, anybody ever heard of any of those players?
Absolutely not.
That's a
I just
negative.
have
Negative.
I guess I have no life. So
Yeah, that's
We knew that a long time ago.
yeah, I got a problem. But college basketball is probably March Madness is one of my favorite events. So I'm excited to watch that this year. College basketball is kind of tuning up. But producer Pete, you with us?
Yeah, I'm still laughing about the no life.
So you got some overrated, underrated for us this week?
Yes, and I know this first one that Cud's gonna love, hockey.
Hockey, goodness me.
Oh,
Go ahead, Cud.
Hockey. Okay, so hockey I never really watched, and I've actually never been to a hockey game. I really want to go to one. They're insane, but I still need it. There's a couple rules I probably don't know, but my roommates here in Alabama, they're from the north and they're big hockey fans, so they kind of drug me into hockey now. So I'm gonna go with it's underrated.
I'm going to say hockey is overrated, but I don't even think hockey's on the level to be overrated. It's just hockey's just kind of irrelevant to me. I'm sorry.
it is.
Yeah, it just kind of is what it is. But I mean, we grew up in Texas, so we're not really a hockey kind of place. So I'm just going to say overrated.
Yeah, I'm
Trent,
kind of.
Go ahead.
Well, also I like Cud just because like it does depend like on who. I have a couple of Canadian friends. And then I have a couple buddies that are from Colorado, and they're from Wisconsin, and so they're big on hockey. And so when I'm with them, if I was watching a game with them and it was like the Stanley Cup or whatever, like I could probably get really into it, even though I don't really understand all the rules. But being from Texas, being from the South, and never having to follow hockey, like I claim to be a Dallas Stars fan. Been to one game in my life. Don't ever keep up with how they're doing. I couldn't tell you if they were in the playoffs last year. I knew they were playoffs a couple years ago, but I'm gonna go with. Kind of depends on who you are. Like if I'm with those buddies I was telling you about, I would say it's underrated. But I'm kind of like you, Brown. Like it is what it is to me.
Yeah, I agree. Hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've never paid attention to a lick of hockey in my life, and I don't think I ever will. And that's just kind of how it is. So I'm going to say overrated, but I don't think it's rated that highly. So
it's just not something we grew up watching. I mean, just being in Texas. So, Pete, what else we got?
All right, next on the list is John Grugan. I don't know why I said Josh. John.
Oh, John Gruden, man. John Gruden, if you ever listen to this podcast, I hate you. And thank you for getting my hopes up about Tennessee. John Gruden, overrated. $10 million a year. Is that what it is? He's getting paid?
Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever it is, give me a break. Overrated. Hunter, what do you think?
I'm going to say overrated. And it's not so much out of hatred as like you, but I just don't think that he's worth $10 million a year. I mean, that's the highest paid coach in the NFL, and I don't think he's the best coach in the NFL. So that's why I think he's overrated. I mean, he hasn't coached in, 10 years?
Yeah, it's been since like 2008.
I get he's been around football and all that, but I don't know. I don't think he's worth that much money. And I may get proven wrong. But I think he's overrated.
What about you, Trent? I know we've talked about Gruden a lot this year.
Yeah. I mean, it depends if you're talking about talking about him as a coach. I would agree he's so overrated. I mean, I have a couple buddies that think that Oakland is just going to magically win it all next year and win it all again the next year after that because they think John Gruden, just because he knows so much about football and because he's been around the game and he has a great mind for football, they think that, they just think the world of him. And like Hunter said, he hasn't coached since 2008. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if, don't quote me on this, but from 2003 to 2008, he had one 10-win season.
Yeah, no, he had a losing record after he went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I was like, give me a break. What is it? I mean, he has no skins on the wall. Well, I guess he didn't have he has a Super Bowl. But other than that, man, I don't think he's anything special.
If he was coaching my Vols, he'd be underrated. But since he toyed with us, he makes the overrated list. Mason, what do you think?
Like y'all just said, from a coaching standpoint, I think he's not nowhere near worth that contract. And like Hunter said, he's not the best. So he doesn't. I don't think he should have got that contract. He's not. 10 years. That's ridiculous. But as I didn't mind him listening to him, call games and stuff with the man. I love his partner Sean. What's his name, Cameron?
Sean McDonough, good announcer.
Yeah, I like him a lot. But and a lot of people know John Gruden. He's a pretty, I feel like, a well-known person with football and things like that. But I'm gonna go with overrated.
Producer P, what do you think about Gruden?
Oh, he's way overrated. No coach is worth that much money, especially since he hasn't been
except for Nick Saban.
I would argue that.
That's right, Hunter.
I just want to throw out something about John Gruden. If you look at his record, I'm looking at his record right now. And Hunter, we were right about him. He only has one 10-win season from 2003 to 2008, and he won 11 games in 2005. If you look at his record at his seasons, outside of the Super Bowl that he won, he's basically Jason Garrett with a little bit more success in the playoffs. I'm just looking at the record.
He's Jason Garrett with a hot stretch in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's Jason Garrett, which I guess that makes him a better, a step above Jason Garrett. I guess you could say Jason Garrett's a poor man, John Gruden, but it's just outside, a couple wins in the playoffs and the Super Bowl, which is pretty big. I'll give John Gruden credit there. But, his record at Tampa Bay is 57-55.
Wow.
So, he ain't, like Pete just said, he's not worth $100 million.
Yeah, nobody's worth that except Nick Saban or Belichick. But
right.
Pete, what else we got?
Well, all right, we're going to take a step back from all the football and sports. Just sitting down and playing board games.
Underrated. So underrated.
I agree with that. Underrated. Board games are fun, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz, what about you? What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Way underrated.
There's some
good.
Uno. Well, that's not a board game. Uno's a card game.
Yeah, but I kind of put those all in the same basket.
Yeah, I think any kind of game like that that's a board game to me.
Right.
Pete.
What do you think? Underrated. Gosh, way.
You say underrated?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did we just sweep the underrated there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Board games are awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's very rare.
It's rare.
Pete, what else we got?
All right. Our next one is Jack in the Box, or a.k.a. Jack in the Crack.
Jack in the Box is terrible, overrated.
I'm going underrated, and I'll tell you
Whoa.
why. So this was when I was in high school. There was one morning that I was hanging out with a buddy of mine, and we needed some breakfast, and for whatever reason, we ended up at Jack in the Box, and I got one of these like grilled breakfast sandwiches or something. It was absolutely incredible.
Really?
It was unbelievable, and I hadn't been back since. But since that one time, I thought, you know what, Jack in the Box is all right. And since it has such a bad reputation, it doesn't take much for it to be underrated. So I'm going underrated.
Jack in the Box has good curly fries. Is the only reason I'll eat at that place. Other than that, terrible. Cud, what do you think?
Oh, I think it's way overrated. In my opinion, with fast food, is like the likelihood if there's a Jack in the Box down that same street, there's probably going to be some more fast food restaurants, and they're probably going to be better than Jack in the Box. That's my logic. So
Hey,
why
Cud's
would you go to Jack in the Box?
Cud's a fast food connoisseur, so he knows what he's talking about.
Garbage.
What about you, Trent? What do you think?
So I kind of agree with Cud. I mean, I'm gonna go with underrated, but hear me out. So I agree with Cud. Like, if there's a Jack in the Box in the area, there's most likely gonna be a chicken fast food restaurant or like a Whataburger or something that's gonna be better than Jack in the Box. But for me, sometimes you have one experience. Like Hunter's experience was a breakfast with his teammate, and it really surprised him. Well, there was one time I went and I ordered 14 tacos from Jack in the Box, and I was insanely hungry. And let me tell you, I was satisfied.
I was satisfied.
I'm gonna go with underrated because I was, I may not have been more satisfied. Given I think I probably haven't eaten in like 36 hours that day. I mean, like before then, because I was real busy with studying for finals, and so I didn't eat, and so I was probably the hungriest that I've ever been. And Jack in the Box was walking distance away. And
you were in need. You were in need, and Jack in the Box was there.
Yeah, so it might not even been that good. I was just really hungry. So, but like I said, it got the job done.
All right, Pete. Last one. What we got?
Oh, I got a good one here. First of all, I want to say this is 100 times overrated. Boxing.
Boxing?
Yep.
Oh, boxing's underrated, Pete. Boxing's a wonderful sport.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree.
I think boxing's getting kind of corrupt because they got that Triple G Canelo fight that was a draw back in September, which clearly wasn't a draw. Triple G won that fight, but they made it a draw, so now they're having a rematch in a couple months. And I've seen some fishy things with Pacquiao losing a couple fights, but man, I enjoy boxing. I think it's underrated. I don't know what you think.
I agree completely. I'd much rather watch boxing than UFC. I think that boxing has much more of like a, not to sound old fashioned, but it has more of like an art to it than UFC does, and I that's why I'd rather watch it. And kind of like you said, boxing has such a horrible reputation right now, and I still hold on to like the hope that boxing will be popular again. So I'm going to go underrated.
Yeah, I really enjoy boxing. Pete, why do you think it's overrated?
If I wanted to watch men dance around, I'd go watch Dancing with the Stars.
They're not, Pete. They're not dancing. Boxing isn't.
I have not seen a recent boxing match where they were slugging
if
at each
Mayweather's
other.
fighting, they're dancing around.
Yeah, Pete. You just need to stop watching Floyd Mayweather fight. You need to watch a good.
Oh,
you
he
need to
is
watch
so
a good boxing
awful.
match.
I have not seen a good boxing match in a long time.
Pete, go watch the Muhammad Ali highlights on YouTube. You'll change your mind about boxing.
Well, that's not right now, is it?
Oh, you just said boxing. You didn't say.
I'm talking about
you didn't say
boxing
right now.
now.
It's still underrated. Boxing's a great
That's
sport.
right.
Awful.
But all right, we got to move on. Trent, so you got some recruiting stuff for us?
Yeah, it won't take long. I also hit on a few things. Alabama's closing really strong. I think they're sitting, depending on what recruiting service you look at, they're at 9, and then they're also at 4. I think with ESPN. I think at Rivals they're at 9. Tennessee's having a heck of a transitional class. They're sitting
Go
at
Vols.
16. They have a chance to close on a couple guys that Texas is also looking at. So I mean, they could even get up to top 15. A&M's in a free fall right now. I think they have 10 people signed. I think they have about 2 commits that they can say that they're going to get signed for sure, and then they're up in the air with about 6 to 8 others, which they don't have any clue when they're more likely going somewhere else. And so they're in the free fall, and I think they're sitting at like 36. One recruiting service has them at like 50.
Wow.
But Texas is sitting at 3. We got a couple guys trying to close on like Josh Moore and Lawrence Keys and Moro Ajomo and a couple other big dogs, Coburn and Keontae Ingram. But Texas is sitting at 3. Baylor's sitting at, I think, 22. So there you go, Hunter.
Sick 'em. All is not lost.
And then I think I mentioned this like 2 weeks ago when I was on the podcast. I'm impressed with Nebraska. They're sitting at 23. Scott Frost is doing some big things already.
Oh, he's going to be awesome there.
It's impressive because, I mean, he was still coaching at UCF during a huge part of that recruiting part. I mean, the early national signing day. So for this to be sitting at 23 and they're still nabbing commits right and left, I mean, they could finish inside the top 20.
That would be really impressive.
Yeah, so.
But all right, final segment of the day, Hunter's Golf segment. We got the waste management this week. This is one of my favorite non-major events. So, Hunter, what we got?
Well, so last week was the Farmers Insurance Open. Torrey Pines. It's actually a really good field, one of the best fields of the season so far. Jason Day won in a 6-hole playoff over Alex Noren, which is another playoff that's 3 weeks in a row. But that's not even the biggest thing that came from this week. The biggest thing, Tiger made the cut, finished 23rd, had every round at par or better, and showed signs of the old Tiger. And I don't think he's back to – he won't ever be back to the way he was in the early 2000s. But I think he's back to being the guy who won Player of the Year in 2013. The guy in 2013 hit it sideways off the tee, which he did this week, but he won tournaments by short game and with his putting. Now this week his irons were off, so he didn't capitalize on the good drives that he hit, but his short game still showed signs. His putting was there. You could tell he was competing again. So I look for Tiger to win at least once by the end of the season. So that was the big takeaway that I had from this week. And then
go ahead.
I was just going to say this coming weekend's a Waste Management Phoenix Open. You know, it's just crazy. It's just a drunk fest, and everybody just has a blast out there watching the golf tournament. So it's always fun to watch on TV.
I love the Waste Management.
Oh, yeah.
16 is a par 3, right? The dome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a cool golf tournament. So I'm excited to watch this week. I want to say something about the PGA, though. Last 3 weeks, they've had a combined 16 playoff holes.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen anything like it.
Could be a good year for PGA Tour. Looks like some stiff competition this year. And good for Jason Day for picking up a win. First win since 2016 Players Championship.
So far in this, I think it's in the wraparound season, 8 guys in the top 20 in the world have won, or something, maybe 7 guys or something in the top 20 have won, and Tiger's back. It's a great year for golf so far.
Tiger birdied the last hole to make the cut. That was a good sign.
And then he played well on the weekend after that.
And he's chipping and putting very well. He didn't hit the ball good this week, but he scrambled his tail off.
Yeah, he's back.
So I enjoyed that. I look forward to PJ this year. But all right, Trent, you texted me. You said you got one more thing to say about recruiting here.
Hey, could go. Matter of fact, if you want to go first, because I'm looking at something right now.
All right. While we're talking about golf, it reminded me, throwing back to our first podcast that we did. It wasn't the first, it was the second one, or either way, we did a Masters prediction, and I did Ricky Fowler, which I'm not hating on him because I'm switching my prediction, but I totally forgot about my man Justin Thomas from Alabama. Yes, yeah. I'm switching my prediction to my man Justin Thomas.
Ah, you big homer.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good pick though, Jay. I could see it.
Ricky's winning the Masters.
I would like that too.
If after I watch Tiger play at Riviera in a couple weeks, I may officially switch my pick from Rory to Tiger. We'll see.
All right,
I'm
Trent.
on the bandwagon.
What we got on the recruiting?
Okay, I meant to say this because I kind of mentioned how A&M's in a free fall in the 2018 class, this year's class. But in 2019, look, they're sitting at their ranking on 24/7, their recruiting website. They're ranked 11th And they just got a couple. They just got one guy that committed just the other day. He's the second best player in the state of Texas. He's a safety out of Bishop Dunn. He's a 5-star athlete, 14 in the nation. But they got the number one pro-style quarterback signed or committed in Grant Gunnell. And then they have his teammate who's in the top 100 players in the state of Texas, and Chase Lane. And then they also got a great kicker who's, whenever kicker is ranked, yes, he's a 3-star kicker, but whenever kicker has any star, they're going to be really good. So they're killing it in the 2019 class, and I think right now the number one player in the Texas in 2019 recruiting rankings is Theo Weiss out of Allen. He's a receiver, and he's crystal balled by a lot of people. Which that if you get a crystal ball, that means they're likely to commit to A&M. So he's crystal balled to A&M, and so is another teammate of the Bishop Dunn safety, Brian Williams. I can't remember his name. His first name is Marquez, but he's just like a DB / receiver / running back type of guy. He's an athlete. He's in the top 100 players in the state of Texas as well. So A&M's killing it in the 2019 class, but they're not doing so hot in the 2018 class.
It'll be really interesting to see how A&M plays this year. But
it looks like Jim's affecting the 2019 class more than I thought he would.
Hey, Cam, before we close up, I just want to know who y'all picked for the Super Bowl.
We all picked New England to win the Super Bowl. Me and Trent had 24-20. New England wins. I said Tom Brady game-winning drive.
No, I don't even think it's gonna be close. I think the Patriots win by 2 touchdowns.
Man, I think it's gonna be a close game. I really do.
I heard today that in all 7 Super Bowls that Tom Brady's been to, every game's been decided by less than a touchdown.
Oh yeah, most of his wins have come on last second.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What was their kicker's name? Vinatieri, right? Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah, Adam Vinatieri.
He's bailed Tom out many times.
I don't know about all that.
He bailed him out.
I don't know about bailed him out.
He's kicked game winners, I think.
Yeah. Well, all right, boys. Well, before we close out, I want to give a big shout-out to my man, Terry Rozier. He had a triple-double tonight.
Baby.
He had 17, 10, and 11. So good for my man, Terry Rozier.
My brother.
But all right, that's all we got for today. We'll see you next time. 903 Sports, baby.